Hi, Danielle, the photo philosopher here. Today, we're going to talk about ISO. Let's start with simple definition. It stands for the International Standards Organization. It's a standardized industry scale for measuring the sensitivity to light. Okay, let's talk about ISO historically. In film days, it related to your film speed. So depending on what you were shooting, you would buy film at a certain ISO speed, ranging from low being something like 50 to 100 to high being something like 2000, now with digital 6400 and even higher. So if you were, say, shooting a wedding that was taking place outside and had a reception inside, for your outside wedding, you would have a very low ISO speed of like 100 because ideally it's sunny. You don't need a lot of sensitivity to light. There's a lot of light there. And then you'd be shooting a reception inside, or maybe in the evening still outside, you'd need a higher speed of film, say 1600. So it was that much more sensitive to the available light. Now, it's a handy dial that most of us have a quick access button to. So you can even change it in most cameras without going into your menu. So one thing about ISO that's kind of hard to teach or to explain to beginners is because our eyes naturally adjust to the brightness of lights. Our pupils expand and contract depending on how much light we are facing, just like an aperture. Our pupils do that automatically. And then there's the cones that help see in black. Our perceived reality isn't actuality. Our eyes adjust in so many ways naturally that we don't understand that the camera needs to be told this. And that's essentially what ISO is. If you are shooting an aperture priority, if you raise your ISO, you can shoot at a faster shutter speed or a higher, more closed down aperture. It'll give you that edging. So ISO, essentially your camera's sensitivity to light. 100 is low, 6400 is high. I personally don't go above 2500. You need to think of ISO like a stereo. So with ISO comes noise. If you were to turn on your stereo all the way up, max volume, you're going to hear hissing, feedback, the speaker's going to crackle. You got to come back off of it a little bit. So don't max out your ISO. It will cause noise, like a pixels spreading around in your image to make that image happen. You don't want that. So find out where your ISO sweet spot is and where it stops. Like I said, for me, 2500, I don't really ever want to go higher than that because that's when I start to notice it. All right? Next time we'll get into the f/16 rule. Till then.